where the stage shape, but find out and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. She is SEO strategies with the 20 plus years experience, none other than Miss Melanie Gorman.
Thanks, Daniel. So good to
Welcome,
be here.
welcome. Yes, welcome back, Miss Melanie. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Sure, of course. So I'm the founder of Crownsville Media. We're a website development and SEO and AI visibility company. We're based out of Crownsville, Maryland, which is near Annapolis, and we work specifically with small business owners that want greater visibility.
Yes. And thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Miss Melanie, I'm inviting you to please do come over to my Entrepreneurship 101 and let's talk about business mindset. So today let's talk about common sense SEO, what actually matters and what you can finally stop wasting time on. That's for sure. The phrase common sense SEO implies the industry has become overcomplicated. What is the most overhyped or outdated SEO tactic that people are still wasting significant time and money on today?
Backlinks. Yeah, backlinks.
Mhm.
So, do backlinks matter? Of course they do, right? But high quality backlinks matter. Low quality backlinks on websites that just don't have great traffic or great SEO themselves for the purpose of just getting a link to your website is a waste of time and money, right? 100%.
Mhm.
So, we live in an interest based economy, and the idea there is that where people spend their time and where they give you their time is how people are. It's almost like money, right? Like they're spending their time with you, which gives tells you that they value whatever they're spending their time on. So backlinks don't work from link farms because they're on low quality websites with low quality content, and nobody ever clicks the link because nobody ever sees it, right? So you spend money on these things and then you get really nothing out of it. So if you're going to look for backlinks, you want to get backlinks from high quality websites, which is significantly more expensive and it's more like old school PR. So there's a lot of value in that, but the low quality, small, get 50 links here, 30 links there, stop wasting your time.
Hmm. Stop wasting your time, people, and do the right thing. That Miss Melanie advice. How has the core intent of Google's algorithms evolved in the last 5 years, and what does the evolution tell us about non negotiable fundamentals that will always matter?
Yeah. There's so much that's changed with Google. So, what is fundamental and still matters the most is really good quality content, right? Best practice SEO is writing good writing good content that people actually spend time reading, and you want to make sure that you carry your thoughts in an educated way from the top of the page to the bottom of the page, right? Google is so sophisticated. It can understand, let's say you write an article and part of it's about topic one and part of it's about topic two and part of it's about topic three because you're trying to smush it together. Google will understand that this little bit is about one topic, two topics, three topics. So you're better off slowing down and covering something comprehensively and writing more articles as opposed to trying to smush it all into one. I'll give you an example. You're
Hmm.
looking at my website here. We
Yes.
design websites, right? So that's a big part of what I do for a living. On inside of a website, you have all kinds of different features. I could write an article about great web design. What works better is one article about your contact page, one article about your about page, one article about your footer. Spend more time completely answering a question versus rushing through it and giving just a little teeny tiny bit of information. Google understands when a website has 100 different topics as opposed to 3 or 4 topics it talks about really well. Be comprehensive, be niche, right? And go all in on the things that match up with whatever you're selling. When you do that, you get further in Google and you get further in AI. And even with all of Google's algorithm updates and changes and all the stuff we see, that has not changed, right? So
Hmm.
being deeper into your topic and demonstrating your expertise, that is the game that all of us need to be playing for longevity and to be online and discovered years into the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Giving deeper and deeper for sure. For the business owner who's overwhelmed by conflicting advice, what is your 80-20 rule? Or for
Mm,
SEO, or what are the 20% of the activities that drive 80% of the results?
yeah. Okay, so 80/20. What I would say for the 80% is 80% of what you produce in terms of content that you use for marketing, videos, articles, whatever it is, 80% of it must match up with the services you're selling, right? Because whatever you're selling, if you're tangenting and talking about trending topics or what somebody's talking about in a blip in the news, it will not last and it will not bring you business in the long run. You have a limited amount of time and marketing budget. So you definitely need to spend 80% of your time talking about the services that you actually sell so that you prove that you're the expert and the best person in your industry to buy services from. So I would say that for sure. I also think that what moves the needle, the 20% that actually gets things done, the thing to listen to get clues into why people are actually hiring you is really to spend more time thinking through your sales calls, right? So, whether like on my website, I have schedule a sales call. If you're a service business where people can consult with you, or you're getting contact forms sent in where people are asking you questions, those what people say in those questions or in those conversations, that is what brings them to the table, right? If you have not covered those topics on your website, in your blog, in your video, in your podcast, you're missing out, right? You're trying too hard to do something that is not the reason why people are buying from you. Focus on what people say they want versus what you're trying to sell, and you'll have better alignment. You'll get better leads, they'll be more prepared to buy from you, and your conversations will be stronger. That's what I would do.
Yes. Focus on what people want, not your want, not your desire.
Right.
Let's talk about the content. Beyond create good content, what are the specific actionable hallmarks of content that truly satisfies both user and the search engine in this coming, not coming, this 2026?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it's 2025, but 2026
Can you
already.
believe it? It's fun. It's fun that it's
Fast.
2026.
So fast.
So many people use AI, right? So content that satisfies and will satisfy in the future is not just AI written. Any one of us can write using AI. It's a big joke right now. Like you read articles and it's everywhere. You read them on
Mm-hmm.
the New York Times or the Washington Post, you read them on people's blogs, and you can pick out all the AI tells that people didn't actually write the content. They just sort of threw it into ChatGPT and put it up there. If you're,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have a problem with people using AI. I think it's great, to be honest with
Mm-hmm.
you. However, people care and are going to spend time on your content if they feel like you put some heart into it, right? So, first, you're talking about something they care about. Let's assume you're doing that. If you use AI to write your content, spend the time editing it. Like,
True.
go through and think about how it reads on the page. Are your paragraph, like you see how there's in this section on my website, the paragraphs are short,
Mm-hmm.
right? Short paragraphs are better visually, especially on a phone, right? So if you're
Yes.
thinking about how your content is consumed, like where people are going to see it, right? On a cell phone, if you have an 8 sentence paragraph, it's a wall of text. Nobody's going to read that. They're going to click out of that because it's too much. It's overwhelming. You
Mm-hmm.
want to think about content that satisfies the questions that people really have. And the 2026 trend is to get away from just pure information, right? All of us, all of our industries, all of the information that is out there, right? So if you expect to write an article about what is SEO and you're hoping to win like visibility in AI, good luck. It's never going to happen. If you want to win visibility for what are best SEO practices for small business podcasts that want growth in 2026, I could do that, right? Niche specific content. What AI is giving all of us is the ability to be super selective in how we ask questions and to get really, really, really good answers to those questions. So if you want visibility in AI, which is something all of us should want, you have to write or produce your content in a way that it answers specific questions. And if you write an AI, make sure you edit out all of those tells.
Mm-hmm. Yes, make like a resume, people. One page is enough. One page. So let's talk about the technical SEO. Miss Melanie is often a rabbit hole, isn't it? What are the three or five non-negotiable technical health items that every site must get right?
Yeah, right. Okay, so you need to have good site architecture. Site architecture is like explaining very simply and cleanly what's included in your website. So if you look here at the navigation, this is simple architecture. And
Yes.
it's the way Google wants it written. So you've got, I notice I don't have a homepage button, but my logo goes to my homepage, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Under about, you're going to get the bios of everybody that works here. Then there's the services, website design, content creation, SEO, and ads. So it's super clear. People can find what they want. The down arrows indicate that there's more pages beneath it, right? And contact is always on the far right. Everybody needs a contact page, right? This is a two-tiered nav, so the schedule a call is above, right? So it's easy to see. That's what I want people to do. Schedule a call, right? It's super easy. So site architecture needs to be simple and easy for your consumers to navigate. I was on a website doing an audit today. She didn't even have a nav menu. She had it like the mobile menu, those three lines that you see on your cell phone, but on a computer. You want to make sure that your website is done so that people can find what they want. So that's number one. Number two is your footer. Your footer is a massive SEO opportunity because we all know if we can't find something, just go to the bottom. You know what I mean? Like you can find my phone number, my email, like everything you need is at the bottom. Make sure you have a good footer, right? If you offer, so that's number two. Number three, if you offer local SEO, like somebody can come to your office or you have something in person, or you're like me and you have a home office and a Google My Business. So my address is out there, right? But that's okay because I own my house and that's all discoverable information. If you have a local business, make sure that you have the details of it listed so people can find you. That helps when someone says, I need a therapist near me. I need a hairdresser near me. I need a lawyer near me. The near me search is connected to the phone, the GPS of the phone, and your location. So the matching of those two things is really important. If you want people to walk into your office and say, "Hi, I'd like to, do whatever that you sell here," right? So those things are really, really important for your site architecture. And then there's other things. You need a really good site map. You need to have your blogs categorized so people can find stuff, right? You need good headings and good structure. So all of those go into like really good basic SEO that feeds your site and feeds your audience, Google, AI into the future.
Interesting, Miss Melanie, and thank you for the empowering answer. Links still matter, isn't it? What the game was or has changed. What does the smart, sustainable, common sense link building strategy like now as we opposed to chasing low quality directories or spammy outreach?
Yeah. So AI visibility, you get higher placement in AI. Look at ChatGPT for this example. You get higher placement in ChatGPT for two reasons:
Mm.
popularity, right? Or niche. You're the only game in town. You're the only person talking about it. You talk about it in a specific, interesting way to a specific interested population. Popularity is a big deal. So most small business owners are not Forbes or Inc., right? They're not the Washington Post. They're small business owners. So services like Quora and Quoted are really great. Did I say that right? Quoted and Quora, yeah, are really great for getting mentions in articles being written by reporters. So
Yes.
reporters are able to say, I'm writing an article about the best bulbs to plant in January for the spring. Are you a gardener? And if you're a gardener, you could say, I'm a gardener. Let me tell you what I think is the best thing. But it's super specific. Those articles get published in very, very popular websites and on very popular websites with links that go back to your website. That's how you get the popularity. The other way is PR, right? If you've got something that's interesting to announce, like you just launched a product, you have a new podcast, right? You have a lot of podcasts, right? So you have a new
Mm-hmm.
podcast. That's a great reason to do a press release. Press releases you have to pay for, but they go out into these newspapers and which are bigger and more popular than your site. And they tell people, hey, Daniel has something new. Go click and find it. That is another way to get links that are actually valuable to your business and send traffic back to your website. But those low quality link farms, that's got to go. You got to stop doing that. It's not worth the money. It's not worth the time. It doesn't give you what they promise. And I don't think there's any value in that moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Can we officially declare, Miss Melanie, that keyword density dead? What a modern concept of replace this old metric for optimizing page content.
Yeah, I do think that keywords still matter for a handful of reasons. So, keywords matter because in the math of your website, Google's understanding of who you are has to have some sort of synergy to it. So, while Google is incredibly, incredibly intelligent and it can tell what one article is about versus another, the repetitive use of words and synonyms on your website give Google an understanding of what the website is all about. So your best practice for keywords is really not to have 1,000 different keywords, but to have 25, right? And to go deep with those. So what I tell her to go it's better to go a mile deep than it is to be than to be a teaspoon deep. So when you're really thinking about how to write for your keywords, it's not necessarily the density on an individual article that's going to get it to show higher in search. It does matter if the concept of the keyword is carried from top to bottom. That's important. But synonyms are crazy important because you may say SEO and I'm SEO services, and I may say services for SEO, and they're exactly the same thing. So consumers are smart enough, Google is smart enough, that stuff doesn't matter. It's the concept being carried top to bottom that's important. Otherwise, Google starts to say part of this article is about one topic and part of it's about another. And that's what you want to avoid, because when Google gets confused, Daniel, it just says, I don't know what to do with this, and it does nothing.
It will be garbage. Definitely. So, how do tangible user experience signals influence rankings, and how can we intentionally design for them?
Well, ranking signals are really going to come down to the time on the page. Are people spending good time reading your content? Like, what are the things that we're telling Google that we should be paid attention to and why? Like, what are the things that actually matter for us? And the more we intentionally write about the topics, we go a mile deep, we focus on our core business topics, those ranking signals are amplified, right? We start to see more of those firing off, and Google's going to pay more attention to the content we write and ultimately send more of the traffic, the right traffic, if it's done right, to the website. And then it's the website's job to convert that person into a lead of whatever form.
Miss Melanie, with the rise of AI generated content, what is the common sense approach? Is it a tool to leverage with the human oversight or a shortcut that will ultimately backfire?
Yeah, that's such a good question. Okay, so anyone that's just writing everything with AI, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
backfire eventually, right? The
Yes.
common sense approach to using AI is to look at what interferes with producing content for you as an individual business owner. Some of my clients really, really, really struggle to write. They get writer's block. They can't, they look at the page and they're like, I don't know what to say, right? AI is a fantastic writing partner, right? So I want to write an article about whatever, right? Baking a cherry pie, but I don't know where to start. It will give you ideas. It will write you a draft. You can give it you can upload your manuscript on pies to the chat feature and it'll say, great, based on everything you've previously written, you might say something like this. So for many, many people, AI is an absolute great partner. In the ADHD space, they have this concept called body doubling, right? And so the concept of a body double is really like, let's say you and I were working on a project together. We could be on a
Mm-hmm.
Zoom call, not really talking to each other, working at the same time, and we will accomplish more, right? So AI is a fantastic body double for people, whether they have something as obvious as writer's block or they have something like, I have too many ideas. Like, I don't know how to narrow my focus. So
Mm-hmm.
if you use it, great. Stay away from purely informational content. It's already out there. Everybody's already covered it. You need to say something new and different and interesting. And if you don't eventually start to add your own data, your own point of view, your own tidbits or details, it's going to sound like every other piece of AI content and it will absolutely go nowhere. So you must make that AI content original or unique to you in some way to give AI a reason to show it, right? Because remember what I said before, popularity is going to win out. So you write an article on a small site, I write it on a medium site, and then the New York Times covers it. The New York Times is going to get top placement every day and twice on Sunday, right? Because they're a bigger website. They have more
Mm-hmm.
trust in the Google and the AI space, and people love their stuff. They spend a lot of time reading it. So you can't write the same thing. If you only write through AI, you're only going to ever regurgitate everything that's already been said. So it is absolutely going to backfire eventually if you don't train it and work with it. But if you do those things, it's a really fantastic tool or coach or side buddy or body double, right? Where you can get a heck of a lot done faster than you might get it done otherwise. So for that reason alone, it's a great thing to do. Just don't forget to edit.
Mm. Yes, AI people, it's only a guidance, your assistant to be a better, to be the best. So, Miss Melanie, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in third season, and my book 101 review is sixth season. This year, comedy 101 third season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101, love letters, movie 101, review music 101 our fourth season, science 101, sex 101, and it's third season, and my baby podcast, trivia 101, Law 101, Mental Health 101, Motivation 101, Entrepreneurship 101, and Bible Verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. And Miss Melanie, I'm inviting you to please do come over to my Entrepreneurship 101 and let's talk about business mindset. So, looking ahead, what one emerging trend shift should savvy business owners pay attention to without getting distracted from today's fundamentals?
Pay attention to the trends in your industry and how your clients have shifted searching for help with AI on the table, right? People have had a big dramatic change in the last year in how they look for help. So you want to pay attention to how your specific clients are looking for help. And if you don't know, you have to get out there and get yourself in the footsteps of your potential clients. So that means like pretending, go to the AI tools and act like a client and
Mm-hmm.
start to think like a client because that'll give you insights into how to get in front of your potential clients. If you're not doing that, they're going to go find help from someone else. So if you want to sell your podcast or your SEO services or your website services or whatever, you absolutely have to think like a client. And when you do that, you will write and produce content that is more interesting. People want to consume it. They love what you have to say. They think, wow, how did Daniel know all that stuff? Like, he thought of that. It was in my head. I never spoke it out loud, right? Because you're paying attention more to the signals from your clients than to the signals of what your business is actually performing on a day-to-day level. You have to pay attention to that too. But if you lose sight of where your clients are searching and hunting for help, you will lose them to your competitors.
Miss Melanie Gorman, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever project that you're doing right now?
Of course. Thank you, Daniel. So this is my website, Crownsville Media. I'm sure you're going to put it in the chat notes or whatever. I
Yeah.
offer everybody a free website evaluation. If you like your website, but it's not working for you, I can tell you what's broken or what's not happening for you. If you have an old website and you need it tuned up and you want to see what it would look like, we could talk and I can help you figure that out too. So just reach out for a free call.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Melanie Gorman because if you support her, pursue more and more empowering business will rise. And looking forward for our business entrepreneurship 101, Miss Melanie. Monica, people, see you soon.